D. Will, I'm gonna go into something else right now. Okay, there's talks about football athletes, NBA athletes, right? You got us up 1-0, right?
Yeah.
You whipped the shit out of him. You whipped the shit out of him, D. Will. I was like, damn, D. Will, stop. D. Will, stop doing that, D. Will. The way you was bullying him, talk that Affield because they think they're better athletes than us. And I mean, we got one game to show it, and it's you against Frank Gore. That's all we had to, like anything, we're better here. Put this film in, watch this ass whipping right here. Like I don't know if you guys had a relationship or anything before this, but you look like he did something to some of your family. Tell me the story about that.
No, I mean, I had never met him until the first time I met him was when we had our press conference in New York, 5.5 weeks, I think, 5 weeks or so before the fight. And we was cool. We chopped it up there. He knew Booz well from being in Miami, being from Miami and stuff, and Booz live in Miami. So, yeah, no, Frank's cool. Frank's a good dude.
No. What made you so mad at him?
What you mean it's a fight?
No,
I don't like to lose.
You didn't want to get your ass whooped, huh? That's what it was.
D-Will, you was throwing it. You was hitting him with elbows. He was out.
No,
he was out the ring.
No elbow.
D-Will, he was out the ring, and you was still trying to get him out the ring.
He couldn't turn it off.
So it's funny because everybody was complaining about me pushing him, right?
Yeah.
First of all, if you watch any boxing, they hold, grab, push all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Frank was just so tired that when I pushed him, he had nothing to hold him up, so he went flying out the ring. That's not my fault. So it looked worse than it was. But also that was kind of my game. That was my game plan because we knew, he was going to try to want to,
bully you,
come in.
Yeah.
Not because I had the height and the reach advantage. And so like when he was trying to grab me. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to stop him from grabbing me. So I was trying to push him off every time. And so
I appreciate you having us up 1-0, man. You beat the shit out of me. I appreciate it.
How'd you get into boxing? Like how did that all happen?
So I've never been in a boxing ring until 2 weeks before the fight. So that was my first time ever being in a boxing ring. I own an MMA gym here in Dallas. And my first sport was wrestling. I wrestled from the time I was 4, up until 8th grade. I had to stop. Till 9th grade. I had to stop in 9th grade because it's the same season as basketball. So I've always loved combat sports. I've always been a fan of MMA, UFC. I own a gym. I train. I train stand-up. I train jiu-jitsu. And so the Jake Paul's promoter, because I was on the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley card. His promoter used to be the CFO of the UFC. And I knew him because I used to go to a lot of fights. And so I guess Frank was, he had been looking for an opponent. I guess they were having trouble finding an opponent. I had just done the All the Smoke podcast a couple of weeks before this, and it was the Showtime, their Showtime. And so I guess they asked me about, we started talking about, fighting or whatever. And it was right after Ocho Cinco did that fight. And I was like, man, that looked fun. Like I would love to do that. So here it goes 2 weeks later, I get a call. Hey, Frank Gore's looking for a fight. And I hadn't trained anything since before COVID, right? So it'd been like 2 years since I trained at all. And I was 245. The fight was going to be at 215. And I took it 6 weeks out, so short notice. I was like, yeah, no, I'll do it. Why not? And so luckily I hadn't eaten that day. So I went home, weighed myself. I was 240. I didn't eat the rest of the day. And from that day on, I didn't eat nothing bad. I got down to, I think I weighed in at 211 fight night and ended up fighting. So
you lost all that weight in what? 5 weeks? 6 weeks?
6 weeks, yeah.
God.
We were sitting back here like, shit, D. Will was a boxer. You got caught up with the wrong NBA player. We didn't know that you never boxed before.
For real. Never boxed before, put tips on it.
No, but I do a lot of stand-up. I do a lot of stand-up. I just never, MMA striking is different than boxing. The stance, everything. So, yeah, I had to switch up a little bit. But also, I wasn't worried because I knew I could fight. And, the guys that I'm sparring at my gym are, top 10 205-pound guys in the UFC. So if I can spar them, I can't see Frank Gore being better than any of them.
You made us proud out there, man.
Yeah,
we was out there smiling.
Great job with that. Great job with that. So since you into the MMA, Who you think right now is the best in the UFC or MMA, whether it be Bellator, whatever the faction is? Okay, you said no. But whatever the faction is, I know UFC got the guys, though. But who do you think is the best right now in the UFC? And who's a guy that you say, watch, he's about to be the next guy before and nobody knows about?
I mean, John Jones is to me the best. Mm-hmm. He's the best of all time, and he's the best. I would like to see him fight Tom Aspinall though, because people know him, but I do think he's next, like for sure. I think Tom Aspinall might be the only person I could see beating John Jones, and so I would say he's up next for sure.
All right, D. Will, real quick, man. Going back home to play for the Mavs. Yeah. Like how special was that for you? How was your experience?
Honestly, that was a great time for me because like I said, Brooklyn was tough. The whole situation in Brooklyn was tough. The ownership, they didn't really know what they were doing at the time, and like I said, we just had coaches and in and out and players in and out, and so I was dealing with injuries, and I kind of like was starting to lose my love for the game, right? And I just needed a fresh start. And so, going there was a breath of fresh air. Coming home, playing in front of, friends and family and being back at home in Dallas. And then, man, it's a great organization. Dallas is a great organization, top to bottom, starting with Cubes up at the top. Rick Carlisle was a great coach. The assistant coaches there were great, and then all the players playing with Dirty. Yeah. There's not a better superstar in the league, man, as far as just being chill and nonchalant, and it was a great experience for me.
Okay, D-Will, talk to me about your part of the Redeem team in 2008. Yeah. You guys redeemed ourselves, redeemed USA. Talk a little bit about that, being on that team. What was it like being with all those Hall of Famers on one team?
And dogging out the international competition.
Peanut head.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, that was that was some of the best times I've had, as an athlete, as a professional, just being on that team. I was one of the young bucks coming in. I think I was 24 when I got there. And, playing with guys, I got a chance to play with Jay Kidd, who, obviously was my childhood idol. I grew up, watching him and idolizing him being here in Dallas, and got a chance to play with him and like you said, play with just shit. I don't know how many guys on that team are, top 75 all time.
It's probably like all of them damn near, right?
Yeah, probably all of them.
Not all of them, but it's a lot,
Close.
Melo, Bron, D-Wade, CP.
Jay Kidd.
Kobe. Kobe. So Dwight Howard should be, honestly.
Yeah.
You've heard stories and obviously seen the documentary, but like honestly, those practices were some of the best practices I've ever been a part of. Mm-hmm. I mean, it doesn't get more competitive than that. It doesn't get any. There's not a higher level of basketball you can get to. That is the highest level of basketball you'll ever see. Same thing with the Dream Team, right? Like it just doesn't get any better. Like you have another team like that, but it doesn't. There's no higher than that.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm gonna transition into the NBA with saying from that to this. Who do you think right now, like if you got to pick right now and say, I think these two teams will be in the finals, who do you think and why?
He want to hear you say his team. He's come with the dumbass questions so you can say the Boston Celtics.
They loaded.
Hear the Boston Celtics.
They loaded,
bro. So I will say Boston probably out of the East.
Hello.
But I hope the Knicks or Philly can, do something, challenge them, make it more interesting than it was last year, right?
But do you think they could get them though? You think those two teams could get the Celtics, or you think
I mean, honestly, obviously the first thing I guess both teams really is staying healthy, right? Mm-hmm. You got Julius Randle's kind of been injured the last couple of years, and you got PG and Joel, who always, seem to, miss quite a big chunk of the season, man. So if those guys can get healthy, Joel got to get that weight down, man.
Yeah,
I've been there, man. It's too much on them joints,
And he pigeon toes, so that's way too much weight. That's too much weight for the pigeon toe, man.
Too much pressure on the inside of the
too much
knees.
pressure on the inside, man. Boy.
Man, I went to Vegas to the little warm up game against Canada. And he came out and I was like, oh, man, he big. He big right now. Big right now.
And he wearing Skechers though, so
that's another thing.
What?
He got Skechers, Adios Skechers.
But ain't no denying he's one of the most talented guys you in the league for sure.
Yeah.
You just got to stay healthy, get that weight down. He gets that weight down, man. He's gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
So you saying the Celtics though still, and then on the
I think Celtics
on the West side though, who you think on the West side?
No, the West is so wide open.
Yeah.
Honestly, so wide open. Honestly, I would love to see Phoenix do something, man. I would like to see KD get another one. I like KD.
I'd like to see all three of them, Book, Beal,
But
and KD get something going. I mean, I think like for them coming in, like you can't get no better on paper.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You know what I mean? And for them to not be able to put it together yet, I don't know what the problem is over there, man. I mean, I watch it every day, so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the other guys are going to be just as important, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They got to be important. The role players got to be stars in their role. What you think about OKC? Because I think OKC is on their way. I think they're going to be
Denver,
right
you
there.
You got to talk about Denver. They're going to be back. Joker's going to be. He's mad. He's hot. You know. So
Dallas.
you got to talk about Denver.
I think people might have Denver figured out.
But the thing is, I think with Denver though, if you looked at the Joker in the Olympics, his body looked different than he looked in the regular season. And I think he's going to come in a whole lot better shape.
But I think once they realize you can't give him both things to do, like once you take away getting everybody else involved, then everybody's gone. If they want to let it ride on the Joker, other teams are letting it ride on the Joker.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Also, I think
He's better as a playmaker.
Yeah,
he is better as a playmaker. But I also think Jamal Murray, him being hurt a little bit last year, kind of derailed their growth last season. I expect them to make some noise, but I'm telling you, I really believe in OKC. I really think that them young guys,
too young, man. I don't think they're ready yet. I don't think it's their time yet.
But look, they did it last year. So what I'm trying to say is they did it last year, right? They tasted some success.
Huh?
They tasted success. They was the number one team.
They lost in the first round. Didn't
They did, but I'm saying they tasted success. They tasted success to get there. Like, and everybody that's young, you don't just win
But that ain't
automatically.
the success that matters. The regular season success don't matter.
Yeah, but that gets you to the playoffs, right? So they had to really fight to get that number one seed. You feel what I'm saying? So to see that you lose in the first round, you like, damn, we got to get our shit. We got to get our shit together. And so I think they're gonna come in because they got one of the most talented players in the league in Shea.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
Chet is looking good.
Yeah.
Jalen Williams is looking good.
You think Minnesota was a fluke?
I do.
I don't know.
I don't think you could win with that type of defense with the big because he's always in the drop.
Coverage, yeah.
Always in the drop. Essentially, the big ends up in the drop, but to start in the drop and the guards being so skilled and can shoot the ball so good, I mean, they're always playing catch up in the possession.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I feel like Minnesota is always on their heels defensively and never pushing up and the aggressor defensively. Right. Sometimes it's a give and take. Sometimes you could be like, okay, we're going to play this way, but for the most part, defensively, you want to be aggressive, man. You want to dictate to the offense what they do, and not what you'd have them dictate to you.
Think about what D. Will and Mike would do if they know a big is in the paint on the middle pick and roll.
What you mean? Why you leave me out, nigga? Well, what the fuck? This nigga gonna leave me out like I can't come off a pick and roll and hit a free throw line jumper.
Exactly. Using the corner.
Coming off an 11.
Hey, look, a pin down. Yeah, but you act like in transition I can't come off a pick and roll if I got the ball, got the rebound and push it. You know what I mean?
We used to be on the court together. You know what I mean, in Sacramento. So I know
dangerous.
You know where he was running to.
How dangerous is that, though?
He right next to me, hand me the ball, and he go.
Yeah, you know, because I'm trying to find a spot to get a jumper off. That's why.
He ain't lying, D-Will.
I got about 20 minutes out there.
D-Will, who you got? You got the Celtics. That's what he wanted to hear. Who you got coming from the West?
Dallas, D-Will? Nothing from Dallas?
Dallas ain't
I just think Dallas is still. They're not. I don't think defensively they're good enough.
Yeah.
You saw what Boston did to them. I don't think it's gonna get. I can't see it getting much better now with what they have now. Like I think it'll be the same kind of the same situation.
Trey